Hi, today I will be interviewing Joe Hernandez.
Hey,
And now we will begin our interview. Okay, what language did you grow up speaking?
I grew up speaking Spanish.
Was there any other languages you heard at home other than Spanish?
I would hear English from my older brothers, and through TV, I would also just hear English.
Do you think that helped you learn English in any way?
Yeah, definitely. I would always watch like Disney Channel all the time, so that helped me a lot with like hearing a lot of English.
And when you entered elementary school, did you learn in Spanish or in English? Or were you like in bilingual education where you learned a little bit of English in some part of the day? Or were you just in all Spanish?
It was all Spanish all until fifth grade when I took my first English class.
So you never took any kind of English class before fifth grade?
No.
No? How was that? Do you think if you would have learned some English in elementary school, you think that would have helped you?
I feel if I didn't have a TV, I wouldn't have been able to. I mean, it made it having classes in English, well, like bilingual classes would have helped me a lot more. But I feel like because I had the TV, that helped me a lot.
So you were you were only like listening and hearing English all the time through TV. Did you
TV.
watch any Spanish TV or was it just
No, just English
just
TV.
English TV? Um, what grade? Oh, you said you were in fifth grade when you were taught in all English.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience? Do you think you struggled a lot? Do you think you could have your teachers could have done more in elementary school to help you learn English, or how did you?
I remember like in fourth grade they were preparing us with like we had a Spanish class, the whole class, but then we had some vocabs and we had in Spanish, and then on the other section we also tried to learn some English words. I remember thinking about like how am I gonna learn all these words in English because like my only language was Spanish. I was freaking out, but then I went to fifth grade. It was like it wasn't too bad.
Not too bad. And were you with other kids who didn't know English, or were you with people who knew nothing but English?
It was both, a mixture of both, and having people that didn't know completely English kind of made it better.
Yeah. And when you said vocabulary, were they pictures next to the vocabulary, or how did you learn vocabulary? Did the teacher just kind of tell you the word and the definition and you memorized it, or did you guys do some type of like match the picture with the vocab or use the vocabulary in a sentence?
What I remember is just having no picture, just like the word and just like it's the definition in Spanish, and just trying to see the similarities between them.
Okay. What do you think you struggled the most in when you went into English, like speaking, listening, writing, or reading? What do you think you had the most trouble learning, and why?
I think speaking, just because there's some nuances between in the languages that are different, especially like the R's, and yeah, writing kind of came easily without like it was the same letters, so it was kind of easier for me.
And at home, how did that? Did you begin speaking more Spanish or more English as you learned
Yeah.
English, and you kind of shied away from Spanish, or did you continue to speak Spanish at home?
No, I began to speak English at home more. I only spoke Spanish with my parents, and since my brothers also knew English, so.
Did you ever feel like learning English was too hard, or did you ever want to give up, not learn English? Like, was it ever a point where you were like, I can't, it's too much, I can't do it?
I don't think so. That's a good question. Because I remember like not being able to say some words because they were hard, but it was just some other people were also struggling with those words, so I wasn't the only one. So just
no. Yeah, because I mean, you learned a whole another language. I mean,
yeah.
The experience of like you know Spanish, you know all the words, and then seeing English. Like, how did you feel when you? Well, looking back now, how do you feel when you, like, wow, I'm bilingual? Like, how do you feel of your journey, and like, how did you do it?
I don't know. I honestly just like give a lot of credit to the TV, just because like I just like I would hear things, just repeat it and have no meaning of it, but then with English classes I understood the meaning and just like saying it.
Yeah. What benefits have you seen in your life that have come from being bilingual?
Some benefits just like being able to understand two cultures and just being able to help out people. Like you can also give a lot of relief with someone who just speaks Spanish by showing that you do speak Spanish. And I don't know, just like also two different point of views to think and just like to answer
And before you were in all English class, were you ever exposed to people who spoke fluent English? I know you said you learned a lot, hearing a lot and listening to a lot of English on TV. But did you ever interact with people who knew like who were very fluent in English other than the TV? Like, were any of your teachers in elementary school fluent in English?
Oh no, I remember my fifth grade teacher. Both of them had like a Spanish accent, so their English wasn't fluent. But all my friends were like fluent English. They only spoke English.
So that's where you heard a lot of
Yeah,
English.
that's where I heard a lot of English.